then they stay, and they don't go away, and they stay forever, and it's like your entire life is just flipped upside down. Has that ever happened to you? Am I the only one that's ever had that happen? Oh my goodness, could you imagine being Cowboy George and having your Aunt Ethel show up like that, and you have to move out of your room into your brother's room? And you know how brothers are? Oh, how awful would that be? You know, there's a story in the Bible where something just like that happened, only it didn't turn out the way you might think. Let me tell you the story. Jesus was on his way from the big lake of Lake Tiberias, which is the Sea of Galilee, and he's going up to Jerusalem. But to go there, he had to go down along the Jordan River, and he gets to a little town called Jericho. And Jericho is where everybody takes their last drink of water, because between Jericho and Jerusalem is nothing but desert. And so Jesus was coming into Jericho, and everybody heard about him. They knew how special he was, how important he was. They all wanted to see him. They all wanted to talk to him. Everybody who was sick wanted to be healed by him. Everybody who was broken wanted to be fixed up by him. Everybody wanted to be around him. And Jesus walks into Jericho with all of his disciples, and people are crowding everywhere. And everybody's coming out of their houses and out of their businesses, out of the McDonald's, out of the car dealerships, and they're coming over to get a look at him, and they're trying to get up on top of each other. And everybody's like a big giant parade. You ever been to a parade where you can't see? You know what that's like? You know, where you have all these real tall people in the front row, and you got the parade right there, and what are you trying to do? You're trying to look under their legs, trying to squeeze in between them, but nobody's moving. Have you ever been there? And then you try to figure out, well, how am I going to see the parade if they're right there in front of me? And there was this little guy in Jericho by the name of Zacchaeus, and he was little. He was this little guy, and he wanted to see the parade, but he really wanted to see Jesus. And he's trying to peek under the legs. He's trying to squeeze in between. Nobody was budging because nobody liked Zacchaeus. In fact, everybody hated him. They thought Zacchaeus was like the worst guy in the entire world. And nobody was going. It's like Zacchaeus trying to get in there, like going, nope, not here. Nope, not here. And oh, look at how tall we are. And Zacchaeus can't see anything, but he wanted to see Jesus. So he got an idea. He said, you know what? I know Jesus is going that way, so there's a big, big sycamore tree over there. And I'm going to go climb up in that tree, because when I'm tall in that tree, nobody can stand in front of me, and I'll get to see Jesus. Now, these sycamore trees are really big trees. I mean, they can get to be about this big around. And so Zacchaeus is climbing up in the sycamore tree, and he's sitting up there swinging away, waiting for the parade to come, because he is smart. Well, here's the thing. They come walking down. The parade comes walking down, and Jesus is in the parade. And there's the band playing out in front. The trombones, boom, 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 and the trumpets are playing really loud. No, they didn't have those things back then. Okay, but anyhow, the parade's walking down the road, and Jesus stops the parade. He goes, excuse me, stop. And everybody's going, what? And everybody's cheering, they're crowding, and then he goes, hey, Zach, come on down here. I'm going to your house. Now, that would change everything, wouldn't it? He's like, he didn't even get an invitation. He just said, I'm coming to your house. And what does Zacchaeus do? He jumps out of the tree, and he says, well, come on. And so Zacchaeus starts leading the parade. Jesus is coming to my house. And he's walking down the road, and he's all puffed up and proud. He's so happy about everything. And Jesus comes into his house, and Zacchaeus had friends that nobody else liked either. In fact, the only people that really liked Zacchaeus and his friends was Zacchaeus and his friends. Everybody else hated him. You know why? Because he was a tax collector, and he cheated people, and he took their money, and he was just really a not nice guy at all, and nobody liked him. And when Jesus came into his house, he said, look, man, you've got to fix the way you're living. You can't go on like this, because I didn't come to the earth to help you live like you're living. And Zacchaeus says, you know, you're right. And he changed his life right then and there. And he said, you know what? Salvation has come to my house right here, right now, in front of everybody. I'm saying, if I cheated anybody, I will pay them back 4 times. And if I really took extra money from somebody, I'm going to pay it back double. Right then, right there. You see how he changed just by having Jesus come into his house? And they had a big party and a big celebration, and everybody was like, that's just weird that Jesus would go to a guy's house like that and have a big party, but that's what Jesus does for us. You see, we're not a lot different from Zacchaeus. There are a lot of things in our lives that are really not very nice at all. There's a lot of things that we do and a lot of things that we say that if Jesus was right next to us, we probably wouldn't do or say those things. And there are people who want to see Jesus, but they want to crowd out others like us and say, no, you can't see him. It's only for us people who really know him. But I tell you what, Jesus comes along and he says to everyone, and it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or you're poor. It doesn't matter if you're a good athlete or not. It doesn't matter if you can sing or if you can't hold a tune in a bucket. It doesn't matter. Jesus says, hey, I want to go to your house. That's what Jesus does for us. Everybody is accepted by Jesus. And that's what the story of Zacchaeus tells us. And what's more important than that is the fact that not only was Zacchaeus accepted by Jesus, but he changed the way he lived his life. You see, when you encounter Jesus and he helps change you and makes you into the person he's created you to be, then your life is going to show it. You will change. So rather than being angry all the time, you just been walking around with a smile on your face. Rather than being a mean-spirited person who bullies others, you may be one to go and help others and serve them and help them. The one who's being bullied, you'll now go help them up. That's what Jesus does for us. That's the party he throws inside of each and every one of us. So this week, while you're in Bible school, and as you go through your craft time and your game time, look for those opportunities where Jesus is changing you to be more like him. So if somebody falls and skins their knees, stop and help them. If somebody messes up on their craft, stop and, hey, I'll help you with that. If somebody's sad, encourage them. Those are the things that Jesus wants us to do. And you can start that even tonight. So I want to pray with you real quick before we go. And we got to do the offering.